Hi, I'm Kevin Matthews, Scottish film fan living in England, and this week has been a busy one for me, so not as much to say when it comes to the what have you watched section, but Craig will be delighted to know that I donned my monocle once again and headed to the theatre.
Hi, I'm Craig, film enjoyer living in England, and I think this is going to be one of those episodes where I really have to take a breath and remind myself when I get my incredible victory that I was not remotely involved in the production of The Passion of Joan of Arc. Like I just picked it. I just got some people to watch it. I'm always tempted to celebrate. Like, yeah, I didn't make it. I didn't make that film at all.
I'm Dave Gray, and this week I had surgery on my butt, so I'm a little angrier than normal, as I forgot to fill my pain pill prescription. So,
Oh, that's the best part.
I know there's not going to be a good edit because I can't sit down and focus on it, and I've got a lot more rage than normal. So, fair warning. Sorry in advance.
I'm Tyler Hosley, podcaster, nipple enthusiast, and president of the Pop My Pills from a Pez Dispenser, the Chad Kroger fan club. And this is Raiders of the Podcast.
Yay! I didn't know about the Chad Kroger thing, but it makes so much sense.
True. I'm the only one on there. That's why I'm the president. But maybe one day I'll have another group. Craig can join me. Maybe Kevin. Who knows? Dave.
I'm busy that always.
I mean, a hero could save us, and I'm not going to stand in his way.
I won't respond until you stop sending us pictures in Messenger with the tagline, "Look at this photograph." Please stop it, Tyler.
Oh, that's the gospel.
How many cars can you drive at once? Because I heard the record is 15.
It's true.
So that's a weird random little. I always get annoyed by that line in Rockstar where he says driving 15 cars. It always sounds like he's driving them all at the same time. I'm like, it's impressive, but stop showing off, you rich fuck.
Well, why do you think, he's gone now? He killed all 14 of his clones in a Mad Max style battle royale.
One to go.
I mean, in the long run, we'll all stay standing because we just won't eat, right? I mean, that's just what it is. This week, I watched one movie. I watched A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, which was a delightful little romance movie. It was really sweet. Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell were just great. They're great together. They play off each other really well. Good chemistry. It's a sweet little movie. It's definitely worth checking out if you like that kind of thing. It is like overly sentimental and just completely sappy, but it's worth a watch for those two alone. I really enjoyed it. And besides that, I started watching that show on Netflix, which I cannot remember the title to because I didn't write it fucking down. But it's got Eugene Levy's kid in there, and Laurie Metcalf. I don't remember the name, but it is really funny.
Is it Deadly something or Deadly Secrets or Deadly Blessings or it's
something like that? I forgot to write it down, but it is really funny. He is hilarious in it, and Laurie Metcalf is fucking great. She is just so good in it. If you just watch it, like give the first couple episodes a chance. It's really funny. But I'm only on episode 4, but it's worth a watch so far, and that's me.
Well, I only watched a few things. Only one movie which thematically ties to one of the picks. I watched The Trial of Joan of Arc, the 1962 film directed by Robert Bresson, which is it's a really different approach versus the one we watched this week, but it's also worth checking out if you're inclined. And besides that, I watched some of the new anime season because Gals Can't Be Kind to Otaku is being adapted, and I love that comic, so that's me.
I watched a few bits this week. I think Dave will know this one. I watched the 2004 comedy adventure anime Mind Game.
I do know that one.
which is by the same director as film which I can't remember the title of, but Dave's about to tell us.
Yes, it's he
Lady
did
goes
Lou
out
Under the
drinking and
Wall,
things.
Night. Yeah, I'm getting there. Did Lou Over the Wall, Ride Your Wave, but the one you're thinking about is The Night Is Short, Walk On, Girl.
That's the one. That's the one.
Yep.
Yeah, by the director of that one. Yeah, Mind Game. Full disclosure, like this one, it has a slight vein of casual misogyny running kind of right the way through it, which kind of sucks. You know, be warned. But if you can put that to one side, Mind Game is pretty fucking incredible. Like, really fantastic voice acting, gorgeous fucking art style, deranged plotting. Like, you just try guessing how the first act of this film concludes. Just try. I promise you, you will not get within a million miles of what happens at the end of the first act of this film. It starts off like a nice little slice of life, and then so much insane stuff happens. It's wonderful, but it's the animation is where this one, like, where it really sings. There is, I mean, the animation the whole way through is absolutely awe-inspiring, but there's an escape sequence near the end of the third act that is the most exhilarating and inventive and flat out, like, jaw-dropping piece of hand-drawn animation I've ever seen in my life. Like, it is, it's the peak. It's as good as animation can ever get, has ever got, will ever get. It is fucking incredible. So it is not without its issues, thematically, but technically incredible, and you should make time for it. And I think, you know, the good will outweigh the bad. Have you seen that one, Dave?
I have, just like I know that it takes the Federico Lorca method.
What's that?
Oh, Federico Lorca, because he was an openly gay poet. When the Spanish Civil War happened, they executed him by shooting him in the, you know,
Oh, okay, okay.
Because you've seen the movie, so you
I
know what
do, I
happened.
do, I do.
When I
Yes.
reference it, yeah.
Okay, okay. But yeah, it's like, you'll agree with me on the animation, I assume. It's just astonishing. Well, you don't have to agree with me.
Oh no, I do.
Well.
It's really well made. It's just, it was. I thought you were being rhetorical. I'm sorry. I was just going to let it go. But no, it's incredibly animated. It's actually his first film.
Oh, is it?
I think I just think he got better after that.
Wow, that's a strong. You're coming out of the gate real strong there. That's impressive stuff. Then I watched the 1962 British crime thriller Strong Room, and I really liked that one. It's just a nice, tight little fucking crime movie. Black and white photography is really fucking handsome, and it's beautifully lit. I mean, a lot of black and white, crime films from that era are, but this one is very, just gorgeously lit. And the cast are all really strong, especially Colin Gordon and Anne Lynn, who play the two characters who are accidentally locked inside a strong room by some criminals and who are running out of oxygen. I think what it does best of all is it does excruciating ticking clock tension throughout, and when it throws up these kind of narrative roadblocks and these complications to keep that ticking clock going, they always feel really authentic. They don't feel contrived. They don't feel forced. They feel like the things that can go wrong, and it's just bad luck. It's kismet, and it's just a really, really well plotted film. Yeah, it rings out some like Hitchcock level tension out of a very simple premise, and I was really surprised by how much I liked it. It had me sweating like right up to the end credits. Like, I mean, right up to the end credits. I was stressed the fuck out. So that I really recommend that one. Has anyone else seen Strong Room?
I have not.
No.
Nope.
I think you'd all like it. I think, yeah, you would. You'd all enjoy it. I then watched. Here we go. Some pronunciation gold here. Jafar Panahi. Jafar Panahi. His 2003 Iranian drama Crimson Gold. that was great. Very very bleak, but very kind of human slice of like 21st century Iranian life. Uh, Pahani, he takes a risk because the main role in this film is a schizophrenic pizza delivery man, and he chooses to play this schizophrenic pizza delivery man, a non-actor and schizophrenic pizza delivery man named Hossein Emededin. So that was a risk, but it really pays off because it's a very gentle and very soulful performance, and because that performance is so soulful, like all the various flavors of inequality he has to face on a day-to-day basis, they just become increasingly hard to swallow. You really feel the human factor. It is not a fun watch at all. It is pretty bleak, but it's an interesting window into like 21st century Iran, and life on its fringes. Just through being just poor, disabled. How much harder it makes everything. Anyone seen Crimson Gold?
I have
Nope.
not.
No, I started it the other day, but I didn't get back to it because I recently watched both Mirror and Closed Curtain, I think it was.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The Mirror and Closed Curtain, and they have they both use a device at a certain point that kind of changes things slightly. I think from what I know about Crimson Gold, I think the other two that I've watched were a little bit sort of less narratively straightforward. But
Okay, okay.
I'm a big fan of Panahi's work.
Yeah, I'm
he's-
just getting into him. What's his most recent release? It was only an accident.
yeah, which is superb. I
mean,
think
I liked
it was
it.
just an accident. Yeah.
I liked it a lot, but I just feel like there's just a lot of stuff that went over my head that didn't really click with me because I just don't know enough about the situations, and I don't know enough about the politics and the culture for everything to like hit. But I really liked it, just as a story. But I think I like Crimson Gold a little more. I really like that. And one more, I watched James Gunn's 2025 comic book adaptation, Superman. Pardon. I think we'll all agree, I've been the main Gunn defender, the main cheerleader for James Gunn in our group. So this is not going to surprise anyone. This is less surprising that this is like T watching Sean Baker's upcoming Italian sex comedy and being like, I liked it. Well, it's you knew I was going to like this one, but I liked it so much more than I expected. I really loved it. I think the cast is like astonishingly perfect. I mean, perfect. You spend 3 seconds with any of these characters and you're locked in. That's Superman, that's Lois, that's Lex, that's Miss Teschmaker. It's perfect. It's an absolutely perfect cast. Which is something Gunn tends to be great at, putting great casts together. The script, I think, is better than Gunn will ever get any credit for because he had a job on his hands and he managed to make a really engaging, really enjoyable film, a really engaging and enjoyable story, full of heart, which is, again, I think that's one of Gunn's greatest gifts, to insert a lot of heart into his stories. But it sets up not just Superman as well, but he sets up half a Justice League as well in a film that's only 2 hours and 5 minutes, and it never feels bloated. So many of these comic book movies feel bloated from trying to force all of this stuff in, and none of it in Superman feels forced. It all works. It all feels like just a world that works and not a world that's forced. The direction's strong, soundtrack really great. And again, I think Gunn usually has a great soundtrack. I love the original score. I love those little moments when Williams's score is in there and just builds during these moments. It's not perfect. Like some of the CGI is a little wonky. Could have used more Lois, but I had a blast otherwise. It's Superman, and it actually is fucking Superman. It's the first, as far as I'm concerned, proper Superman film we've had since Returns. And I haven't had like a post movie buzz like I had with this one for a good while. That I'm a Punk Rocker song played over the credits, and I'd had such a good time that I was just buzzing. So this is my favourite live action comic book film since Blade, which is almost 30 years old. So excited for whatever Gunn's going to do next. And I'm glad, like, I know, I think only Kevin's going to have liked it as much as I did, but I'm glad that all of us liked it. You know, I think Tyler definitely had his doubts, but I'm just really glad that we all enjoyed it, and I'm excited to see what Gunn does next.
Yeah,
And that's me.
It's probably one of Gunn's best movies in a long time. I really enjoyed it.
Yay.
I think it really shows that for that character as well, like as we've known the essence of him through comic book storylines from the classic era, particularly, and the Christopher Reeve movies, like you can still do movies with that spirit. You don't have to try and turn Superman into the Dark Knight.
No.
There's room for all of these different flavors. And I think Gunn, did a really good job with that, with being quite earnest without it feeling, I don't know, just like horribly mishandled and sickeningly sweet, which it could have done, I guess.
Absolutely. And I think Gunn also trusts his audience. He didn't feel the need to go with the origin story for the millionth time. He doesn't feel the need to give all of these new characters these huge introductions. He just trusts us all. He knows we know Superman. He knows we know who they are, and he just jumps straight in. And I think that's one of the things that works for it.
So I didn't get much watch this week, as it's been very busy. But before we were recording the podcast, I've already told Dave this. Anyway, I just got back this evening from seeing 222, A Ghost Story, live at a theatre, and I was unimpressed. I didn't like it. The performances were okay. The dialogue is okay. This is a small theatre show review, but it's really just to warn people, I think, because I've been to quite a few shows lately that are, genre pieces. I would say to a degree, Inside Number 9 obviously works with a lot of genre moments, and you got the stage lighting and the crash bang wallop that would give you a jump scare as well. Ghost Stories, when that finally toured again, was rescheduled, has the jump scare, so it does that. And 222, A Ghost Story, is mainly a drama piece, but because it has one foot in, the idea of a ghost story, every 10-15 minutes it does the crashy noise and the lights. It's just like really annoying. That's like somebody wanting to tell you a ghost story, but they only have a spooky bit at the end that will make it scary. So every couple of minutes they just go boo and jump in your face. And that doesn't work. So I wanted to warn people about that. But I don't know, maybe just really in the minority there. But if you're ever going to the theatre, 222, A Ghost Story is not recommended. So
Have you ever seen Woman in Black on stage?
not on stage, I would like to. But again, I think that might also do the lights and the crash bang noises. But that would, to me, that would be fine because the rest is still working with the atmosphere and the scares, to my knowledge. And that's part of when you get the noises and the bright lights, everyone gets that jump and they all have their little chuckle in the seats. You put your monocle back in, you replace the top hat's maybe slid off slightly, so you replace that, fix the cravat, and you get back with the rest of the act. But if it was the Woman in Black, and if that is part of that show, I would enjoy that as part of that thing. You're getting the rest, but also now and again, we're bumping up your heart rate for a split second.
Yeah.
I don't think that, it's like if we watched any standard drama, if we watched, say, We Love Dead Man's Shoes, or if we watched any other Shane Meadows film, but he wanted to market it as a horror, so every 10-15 minutes just threw in this really clumsy jump scare. you'd just be sitting there thinking, what are you doing? You just like no idea.
James
Anyway.
Wan's Dead Man's Shoes.
Yeah.
No idea.
But the main one I did watch. Well, I watched a TV show. I finished Peacemaker. Craig, you watched Peacemaker too, didn't you? You enjoyed it?
Yeah, I did. I love Peacemaker.
Yeah. So that was a fun time. I finished the second season of that. But the film that was a little delight for me was Relay, which is now on Prime, and I'd heard a few good things about it. It's directed by David Mackenzie, who's done some stuff I've liked, some stuff I've not liked quite as much. But the leads are played by Riz Ahmed and Lily James. Sam Worthington's in a supporting role here as well, and Willa Fitzgerald. The story is Riz Ahmed plays someone who he will help people if they've tried to do some like whistleblowing and then it's become too difficult for them to just get on with their life. He kind of negotiates a way back. You know, he'll step in and say, my client will give you these files back. One will be kept for security. You will pay this much. And it ends here. That's his kind of deal. It's called Relay because he uses a relay service, which is the kind of the phone text to speech service, essentially, which is, you know, if you get a call from this company, they'll say you have a call from such and such a number. This person is either unable to communicate or has issues. We will give you the message. It's that kind of thing. It's a really good film. It's quite an interesting and slightly different feeling thriller that still has moments that play out in a very straightforward thriller way. It's a great role for Riz Ahmed, and Lily James is really good in her role as well. I thought it was quite a good journey to be on. Has anyone else watched Relay yet?
No, not
No.
yet.
I have not.
I love Riz Ahmed, though. I was really sad when he died in that studio fire whilst recording the Harry Potter audiobooks. That was,
Yes, we're
was
all
tragic.
saddened.
The one that took out Hugh
by that.
Laurie. I was looking forward to him finally writing a sequel to The Gun Seller, but look what fucking happened.
Well, yeah. So this serves as a nice kind of footnote to his career. It's a good one, and Ahmed's really good in it. But that's about it. That is all I have had time for this week.
This week, we watched the immortal classic from 1928. I'm sorry,
No,
1928.
2001, Dave.
I'm
2001.
not there yet, Kevin.
Oh, all right,
Sit the
sorry.
fuck down and wait.
But you said immortal classic. It's
I said the eternal classic, Kevin. Eternal, not modern. The eternal classic from 1920 from Carl Theodor Dreyer, The Passion of Joan of Arc, and a 2001 New Zealand movie called Stickmen. You know, T, I'm not going to defer. I'm going to take this one on myself. I'm going to start with Stickmen because I want to hear T describe The Passion of Joan of Arc. This is a film about three loser friends getting into a pretty bad pool tournament to make what they think is a quick 20 grand. It sucks. It sucks so bad. The three guys are terrible. They're Thomas, played by Paolo Rotondo. And Paolo has gone on to do like other things, but he was in a ton of TV shows and stuff around this time. So if you see him, you'll be like, "Oh, hey, yeah, I know who that guy is." Robbie Megavizia, and I know I just totally messed that up. He's a Samoan actor who's probably best known to people not in New Zealand for his role as Maher, the Uruk-hai in charge of the pits in Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. His brother was a Power Ranger. Just, for the record, throwing out the stupid bullshit I know about these guys. And the third one is Wayne, played by Scott Wills. Scott Wills is another actor that's just been on like a ton of New Zealand shows. He's done a lot of voices for Power Rangers. Moving to New Zealand was like the best thing that they ever did for themselves on that show. So they're bad pool players. Their relationships don't make sense. They don't work well together. They just spout an endless string of unfunny and frankly overdone by the time this film was made jokes at each other. One of them has a girlfriend for no reason except so she can kick him out after he cheats on her. But like, why is she there? No reason. Filler. The pool scenes are terribly shot. There's no suspense. There's no anything. One's relationship with the waitress is just awful filler, just so she can throw a surprise. She's also a pool hustler, which hasn't been fucking mentioned at all for the hour up to this. And she throws the match so our guys can win. Why? What? There's nothing in it for anyone. This movie is just, it sucks. It's maybe if I liked them, maybe if I enjoyed their banter, but I didn't. There's a lot of homophobia for a good chunk. There's a lot of punching down on poor people and sex workers. There's a lot of just unfunny trash in this movie. I get it. I understand. The writer Nick Ward and director Hamish Rothwell, you watch Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and you went, I can fucking do that. Well, you couldn't. You could do that, and instead you unleashed this piece of shit on the world. This movie, I hate watched it. I had to finish it for the podcast, but it's been a long time since I have hated something this much. This is like LaQuisha level hates. This is adrenochrome level hates. It's poorly made. It's terribly acted. It's terribly written. There's no reason for this to not only have been made, but it's a war crime that it was released outside of the confines of the island of New Zealand. Now, I'm not one to push, say, a current tyrannical president into bombing another country, but if somebody wanted to drop a bomb on a certain section of New Zealand for this, I would not complain. This is just shit all the way through. And I don't think I can talk to Kevin for a while because of the damage this has done to me. Fuck this movie. Fuck everybody in it. It's just lazy, poorly done shit.
Like Stephanie, my wife, we've discussed a few times like casual misogyny in pop culture and when it was at its most pervasive, when it hit its peak. And the answer we settled on was 2000, 2001, like the turn of a millennium. That's when just very, very casual misogyny was at its absolute peak. And we came to that conclusion without ever having seen Stickmen. Stickmen is just the full stop at the end of that fucking sentence. It is an ugly, ugly fucking movie on multiple levels. Like, first of all, this is the least of this film's problems, but it annoyed me enough that I'm compelled to fucking comment on it. English people know what pool is. But there's a scene at the beginning where English people, someone explains the rules of pool to a couple of English tourists. That's such nonsense. Like, pool is not some exotic thing. It's not curling or kabaddi. Like, it is an exceedingly popular pub game in the UK. In the year 2000, I was losing maybe half a dozen games of pool every weekend without fail. Don't act like you invented pool and you're telling the world about fucking pool, you fucking idiots. And that's the least of its issues. In terms of filmmaking, like camera work, cinematography, editing, score, the colour palette, it's the most blatant, shameless Xerox of another film I've ever seen. But also just done really, really poorly. Like, director Hamish Rockwell, it's basically like he bought an off-brand Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels colouring book and then just threw crayons at it from the other side of the room. Just lazy and incompetent, which is the peanut butter and jelly of being terrible. It's just such a lazy piece of shit ripoff of a film that I don't think is particularly interesting or enjoyable either. But
No, but at least Lock, Stock has a cast that can do
yeah,
it.
exactly. It has a cast that carries it, and you know what? The style worked better because the Guy Ritchie can work that style. He's not borrowing it from anyone. I mean, he's borrowing the writing from Tarantino, but he's not borrowing that style from anyone, and he did it quite well. But like the filmmaking part, it's not even like a tenth or even 100th as awful as the fucking script. Like, I get shit on this thing all night long, like all fucking night. But I'm gonna just focus on two specific lines of dialogue because I think they make my case just on their own. Like, near the beginning of this film, one of our heroes, these are our three protagonists, they're our heroes, they're the ones we're meant to be like standing behind. He states that there are only two types of women, and then delineates the difference between these two types of women, which are bitches and sluts. And I think we're meant to like cackle at this. This is the fucking caliber of men we are following for the next 90 minutes of just nauseating sexism. These are our fucking heroes, bitches and sluts. Fuck. I immediately hated all three of our protagonists. I wanted to see them burn to death immediately. But then you get near the end of the film, we get the line, "Go get 'em, Tiger," which is spoken by a character called Karen. And she speaks that line to Mr. Bitches and Sluts right before the final match. And I don't really understand why she does that, because A, she fucked him over 10 minutes ago, as she had planned to do for the entire movie, because she had no type of attachment to him. And B, he thoroughly deserved to be fucked over because he had been a rancid scumbag from his first scene till his last scene. Like, awful, disgusting men having women fawn over them at the end when they have done nothing to earn it. Like, I cannot believe that's how this film chooses to portray women. It's just, it's this film's fucking disgusting, man. It goes beyond just being like bad. It's disgusting, and like I have nothing positive to say really. Paolo Rotondo, he comes the most dangerously close to being halfway likable. So what I'm assuming is that the natural likability he has as an actor must be off the fucking scale in anything else, because I've almost didn't despise him, but otherwise this is a fucking awful movie. And it's not just that it fails to add anything of worth to cinema or popular culture. I feel like it can only have actively made the world slightly worse by like being part of shoring up a culture of rank misogyny, because in a world where the existence of a rape academy has come to light this week, I don't want to celebrate characters who would cut the fucking ribbon at the opening ceremony of said rape academy. Like, this is the misogyny of the turn of the century. You might think it's a leap to connect the two, but it's not. It's just a culture of misogyny that leads us eventually to a fucking rape academy. So, whereas whatever Dave said about this film, fuck this movie, times that by 1,000, because I really do think this is one of the most despicable pieces of trash I have ever seen in my life.
I'm sorry if I didn't make it clear. I agree with that.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
You weren't here for LaQuisha, were you? So my bar might be a little lower than yours.
Fair enough.
Pass. Veto. Can I pass? I feel bad for this right now. Sorry, Dave and Craig, but I kind of didn't hate this. I mean, I get what you guys are saying. It did hit all those early 2000s, 2001 movie vibes, but I kind of dig those vibes. Not that I'm a misogynist or anything, but you know what I
Here's
mean.
the thing. We all knew you were going to say that.
Yes. It was the first
You
note
don't
I
have
had
to
written down.
apologize.
Yeah, it was the first note I had written down. But yeah, I kind of like those early 2000s vibes, but I kind of wish there was more movies about pool though, because I feel like that's a sport that doesn't get the cinematic treatment very often. I mean, there's The Color of Money, obviously, that's the classic. You got Pool Hall Junkies. What's that other one? Shooting Gallery, which has Freddie Prinze Jr. I really like that one a lot. Ving Rhames, that's a solid one. And there's one with Famke Janssen that I really liked that I don't remember the title to, but I saw it years ago. I thought that one was pretty good as well. Um, but for the super low budget this had, and as cheesy as it may be, I thought the pool scenes were fairly well done and kind of stylish for what they were. I mean, the dialogue was obviously going for Kiwi Tarantino inspired Guy Ritchie shit. I mean to the point that this director obviously has jerked off to Guy Ritchie at least 3 times a week. But yeah, I see what he was going for. I mean, the cast. I mean, they're playing awful people, but they're okay for the parts that they're given to play. I mean, yes, they're playing pieces of shit, but I don't think they're terrible playing those pieces of shit characters. They're fine. I've seen way worse acting before, just way worse. Um, they're acceptably okay in their roles. But yeah, I didn't hate this. I don't have much to say about it actually, but I didn't hate it. It didn't leave any lasting impression at all. Like it didn't leave just any impression, to be honest with you. It kind of fairly left my mind after watching it. But I was entertained while it was on. So I would chalk that up into the this was just an okay movie category that I kind of dig the early 2000s vibes of it. But other than that, it's fine. I didn't hate it though. So I'm guessing I'm going to lean towards Kevin more because I think Kevin does like this. But yeah, it was okay.
Before Kevin goes, just for the record, the Famke Janssen film is called Turn the River.
Yes, that was it. I like that one.
Yeah, I mean, you've kind of pissed on my chips here because I can't really say, oh yeah, I like this. I thought it was fun. Where you've just drawn a straight line between this and the Rape Academy that's been uncovered lately. That's a bit. Yeah, I think that has really weighted things against you, you bastard. Look, I watched this when I can't remember if it was. I think it was DVD. I found this maybe VHS when it kind of appeared, probably in Blockbuster. I picked up, and it was a fun one. To me, it was a fun film about pool. I did like the obviously the connective tissue of the pool tournament and some of the games, and I thought it was alright. I never thought it was any kind of modern classic or anything really. I did always view it as a bit of a I don't know what the phrase is, not a hidden gem, but a little gem. I've owned the DVD for years and not watched it for years, and then rewatching it, it is quite bad in a lot of aspects. Like you're absolutely right in the way that this director had seen Guy Ritchie films and thought, I'm going to do that, but for the New Zealand world of pool. And that's, it is what it is. It's from that time. It's, it's there in the plotting, in the script. I mean, there's a lot, I think, worse in that script than there needs to be. Um, I don't like the main characters. I agree they're not really likable, any of them. And when they are involved with women, you are just thinking, why are these women involved with them? Although I liked the performance from Anne Nordhaus, who plays Sarah, who ends up with she's the one going out with Thomas, who's Paolo Rotondo. But yeah, I still think there's some fun to be had with this. Not least, the supporting turn for John Lee, who's been in about 70 million episodes of Shortland Street. So whenever he pops up in things, and I've seen him, he's in The Frighteners. He is, as every other New Zealand actor is, in the Lord of the Rings movies at some point. He's been in many, many things, but he's here playing the guy who has the bard, Dave, and his bar's at risk. So I like seeing him. I like some of the pool sequences. I think it's fun when you do get the like in a way. I think Dave mentioned like the homophobic aspect. You get a certain match where I I do think it is interesting that they sort of figure they're being played. Everything's been played up to, put off these straight standard like hetero guys who should be afraid of gay men in their vicinity while they're trying to play pool. I like that. I like when they play the men in black, as it were. Um, I I really have fun with the match that they have where they think they've not got a chance unless they get to break. I think that sequence is fun. You're not sure if a character is talented while drunk, if hustling and pretending to be drunk, or just really lucky. That does become clearer towards the end of the match and comes back again. I think there are a few strands that run through this that I think by the end they tied together quite well. And I thought of this because obviously, and I know Dave will be raging when I say this because I'm not saying it's the same level, but when you picked Sumo Do Sumo Don't, this for me was just like, oh yeah, it's been a long time since I've watched this formulaic sports movie that I remember I enjoyed for hitting the familiar beats. And it does hit those familiar beats, but there's the rest of the stuff around it that isn't as good. If anything, I really wish they just managed to maybe get rid of some of the like casual misogyny, get rid of maybe all of the misogyny, and have more pool there. I wish it'd been like more than one match a piece deciding each thing. That you'd ramp up some tension, even if we were all just having to pretend there was extra tension. If you made each match, a best of three or something. That's my main nitpick with it. When you get away from the problematic nature of quite a bit of the rest of the content. I still find enough to enjoy here, but it's certainly it's a different experience watching it now than watching it when it first came out, and it felt more in line with a whole lot of other movies that were trying to either emulate Guy Ritchie or Tarantino or just do that cool crime comedy thing, which this has parts of around the sports movie tropes. So I don't hate it, but I can't say I enjoyed it as much as I did years ago, and I'm not rushing to give any further endorsement to something that I now feel has been linked to a rape academy.
I just like how you pointed out that one had had a long career in television without saying most of its Power Rangers.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's a Power Rangers guy to you, and I know he's in. That's like Lord of the Rings. Like every one of the New Zealand actors seem to have been in Power Rangers, but for me, it was definitely Shortland Street. And I don't know if you've ever got it over your way, but it was kind of another one that they just stuck on at sort of late afternoon, early evening here.
No,
I think it was
but
when they were looking for stuff that would placate those who'd already been sucked into like Neighbours and Home and Away, and they were like, "Here's one
no, we never got that. But do you know what we did get?
more Power Rangers,
Power Rangers.
all of the Power Rangers."
Twice.
I will say about Stickmen, which I despise with almost every fibre of my being. I will say that the point that you made about the gay bar part of the tournament, I do agree with you there. I think it was a very clumsy attempt to make the protagonist the butt of the joke. It just wasn't done with any real nuance, so it definitely could come across as quite
They failed so hard to the point
unpleasant.
where They even have them needing to convince themselves that they're only pretending to be gay in order to walk in. Gay panic is gay panic, and you don't get more gay panic here than 5 minutes of three straight men having to hype themselves up and create a fictional fantasy that they're pretending to be gay to get in their heads.
Yeah, but also, and I could be speaking from a place of complete cultural ignorance here, so everyone forgive me in advance. The four people who listen to us,
I
I
won't.
think that is, I think that is more of a notable divide or sort of kind of hot button thing for New Zealand men, maybe at that time as well. Like we'd seen some stuff already exploring the 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 idea of toxic masculinity and being with groups who are, have different paths ahead of them and trying to stay on the right path round about this time. So I don't know if that is a very dated thing, or if by the time Stickmen was long, it still worked as in, it feels like it would be hyper masculine men who are more threatened by that. And I like that it seemed that they tried to turn that slightly, but still, like, I know, Dave, you'd be upset they kind of still wanted to have their cake and eat it in a way. But it did feel like they were trying to at least make it worthwhile to turn the joke around slightly.
The shame if they did not have these protagonists, if they didn't have this victory at the end, it might have softened it for me. Because they didn't earn it or deserve it. It might have
Yeah,
been a little more interesting.
They
if
get their
they'd
victory
failed.
because somebody throws it.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, eh.
I generally agree with all of the main points raised. I do generally agree. When I first saw this, those things didn't come into my mind because I was a lot younger and I was a lot more easily pleased even than I am now. And this would have been an easy Kevin 7. But to me, there is enough of the sports movie tropes that are just played out. And with pool, like, I'm kind of like Tyler. I like pool as the idea of a film being sort of based around it and done well. It would be good to have a better film for that. But I like those moments, and then you get older and a bit more maybe wiser and see all the bad stuff popping out in every scene. But I don't disagree with so much of what you guys said. Like when I when I rewatched this, I was like, "Oh shit, it's worse than I remember. I'm going to get slaughtered." My only hope is that everyone hates the Passion of Joan of Arc.
Well, that was a pretty good segue. T, do you want to tell us about Joan?
Sure. Let's see. So in 1431, Jeanne d'Arc is placed on trial and of charges of hearsay, and the jurists attempt to force her to recant her claims of her holy visions. Does that sound about right? I'm going to go with that.
I mean, except it's heresy, not hearsay.
Hearsay. That's true. So I'm going to be totally honest. I usually struggle through silent films unless it's like Nosferatu or something. Usually the over exaggerated style doesn't really work for me as a whole. I mean, this still has some of that, but it didn't bother me here at all. This is fantastic. I mean, it's funny. This is the second week in a row with a movie involving deeply religious themes, and here's me, the least religious person on the fucking planet, loving it. Um, Falconetti, is that how you pronounce her name? How do you pronounce her last name? Falconetti? Does that sound about
Think
Yeah,
right?
so.
Falconetti.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Yeah.
going with.
Okay. Yeah, she is amazing. The way she sells her suffering and her pain through just facial expressions is truly unmatched. I mean, what a fucking performance. It's genuinely heart-wrenching to watch at times too. She's brilliant, just amazing. And like I said, it's a silent movie, so she says nothing, but every ounce of pain is shown through the close-ups on her face. It's brilliant. Um, the way it portrays her trial and the execution, it's all so well done, and it looks fucking gorgeous visually. I loved all the expressionistic lighting, the and truly ahead of its time camera work. Half this movie is close-up shots, probably more than half. Most of it is close-up shots, and it's glorious. And the crazy thing is, this movie is almost 100 years old. It's like, what, 98 years old right now? And it never once feels like a dated film. Just, it kind of blows my mind. But yeah, it's an art piece. And it's an art piece of cinema. And I enjoyed the hell out of this. I hadn't seen it before. And I'm happy I did now. So yeah, it's really fucking good. And I enjoyed the hell out of this one.
Yeah, have you guys looked into the history of this film?
I have not.
Not
So-
a great deal. I know
Sort
it's
of.
based on the actual transcripts of the
Yeah,
trial.
parts of it are they don't really give Joan the best cut. That's not Falconetti. Falconetti is brilliant in it, but the real Joan was a little bit more on the ball and defiant throughout. Which, they have a limited amount of time and it's silent, so I understand why they made the choices they did. But no, so this was originally made in 1928. Well, it first premiered in 1928. It had been filmed in 1927. And the studio took the cut away from Dreyer because of pressures from the church. And Dreyer's original version was thought to be lost in a fire, so he recut it with B-roll, which the studio didn't like. So their gutted version became the main one with a terrible narration for like 50 years until the original negative was found in a mental institute. Do you want to guess what country that mental institute was in? Norway.
Hmm.
They had sent the canisters to the Norwegian Film Institute, and they just got stuck in the closet of a mental asylum for decades.
Wow.
So, for a long time, there were two very different versions of this film, and now Dreyer's original cut has become the version, and it's brilliant. The camera work is amazing. Almost every shot of Joan is angled and tight, and it's just like Falconetti's performance it's mind blowing. It gives chills. Every time she's on screen, she's amazing. The rest of the cast is really good. The main antagonist I'm going to use the term antagonist is the real guy. It's Yvette Pierre Cochon, who's a Catholic priest at the time. He's played by Eugene Sylvain, who was actually a comedic actor before this. He's also in a whole run of weird and eclectic French comedy shorts in the 1920s. Going back to like the 18s, I think he's in some of the very first narrative features that exist. He's in one that was made in, I think, 1879, 1880. The School for Husbands, which is again, one of the first narrative features. So that's kind of cool. The whole cast is stacked. They all give great performances for this type of film. The look is amazing. The final shot with the burning is just gorgeous. It is jaw-dropping. The camera work was done by Dreyer himself. Lots of close-ups. There's no establishing shots except for one pan in the very beginning. They never contextualize the character space, which really goes a long way in this piece. They don't match eye lines. The editing is discontinuous. They violate the 180-degree rule all the time. There's a lot of white background, so there's no spatial depth given. It very much keeps you in what they're trying to get across as Joan's mental state. It's not accurate to reality, but it's incredibly effective in a film. this is a stone cold classic of cinema. We will all be long dead, and this film will still be discussed and argued about until the last human draws their last breath and the sun dies out and the moon reaches escape velocity. I will say I did watch Bresson's Trial of Joan of Arc, which also uses the actual record, the transcripts of the actual trial, and that gives you it does give you a better sense of who Joan of Arc was in reality, and it is also worth watching. Just as a side note, but yeah, the Passion of Joan of Arc is it's the movie that most film students dream of making. It's pretty close to perfection.
Well, I would say that although Craig thought he probably had this week in the bag when he picked The Passion of Joan of Arc, it is very good. But if they had tried to make her recant her claims of holy visions and judge her maybe according to her skills around the pool table in some kind of tournament, I think this could have been a much better film. It could have been the Stickmen around Joan of Arc. It would have just been great. If Joan of
there's
Arc had
almost no ball in
explained,
this at all.
no, I mean, if Joan of Arc had taken a moment to explain to the men around her that there were two types of women in the world,
Jesus Christ.
then this would have been top tier. As it stands, it's all right, but needed more Q action. No, I'm obviously joking. This is a masterpiece. I first watched this. God, I can't remember. I think it's a few years ago now. And before I'd ever seen this, I heard people say that the performance from Falconetti is amongst the greatest acting performances of all time. And it's just like it's really hard to argue against that when you watch this film. She is just superb and riveting for every moment she's on screen, and you do get people around her, and the film does cut to reactions and expressions from others, but most of the film is kind of locked on her face, on her pain, on her sort of just actually her calm aura working against all of those getting het up around her. To put it mildly, Joan of Arc had a lot of men around who were a bit het up. Or didn't she? No, yes, they all ended up wanting to burn her at the stake. So I would say yes. Unlike Dave, I couldn't do as much research, but I did listen to the commentary on this that was on the Criterion channel. It was available there, and it's great. And it did bring up some points about the things that Dave mentions, the history of the film, and how Dreyer. I don't think it was actually too popular with everyone on this film for getting them styled for their parts as well. I think, if I recall right, even there was a bit of a disagreement. I don't think Falconetti actually wanted her hair cut off, and that still ended up happening. As you see in the film, it's it all because of how it had to be done at the time. It has that extra just feeling of pain and difficulty throughout it, which is suitable for the content of the film. I just think it's great. Oh, the other thing I would mention, seeing as there's a bit of a theme here, one of the points that is argued with here is Joan of Arc not wanting to change clothing. She's in what they just deem as men's clothing and want her to change and she doesn't want to. And that is a bone of contention here. And apparently, as would seem obvious, actually, this was based on the reality where Joan of Arc didn't want to change clothes because she thought that would put her at more risk of sexual assault from any of the guards. So it's interesting that that is still here and shown as another battle between her and those around her, but obviously not as explicitly explained. It's just all kind of part of the ongoing just to and fro between Joan of Arc and her jury around her. I feel like I feel so shitty for using really minimizing words. Oh, Joan of Arc had a bit of a to and fro with these people around her. Really not the best way to describe it. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to discuss like how things play out on screen and how it's shown. It's just, I mean, it's fantastic though. It is. I agree with everything Dave said, and you know, I'll sort of end where I started. I think it's really hard to argue against the performance from Falconetti as anything other than one of the greatest film performances of all time. So yeah, nice one, Craig.
Again, I did not make this film. I'm not involved in its production, but thank you very much. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but this gave me real insight into how Tyler feels every other week when we discuss one of his favourite movies of all time. Every second of like Joan of Arc, like weeping and just wanting forgiveness, just really gave me Tyler vibes. Yeah, you've all said it. It's a masterpiece. It's one of the most powerful pieces of cinema I've ever seen. I think it sums up. Its power is summed up like before you even see an actor on the screen. It's just a little line of text, not in helmet or armor, but simple and human. And that's what I love about the Passion of Joan of Arc. I love how stripped back it is, how human it all is, to the degree that it becomes a total kind of demythologization, and a demythologization in this relatively new art form, cinema, that has always that thrives on perpetuating mythology. I mean, it still does. So this must have been really quite a shocking piece of art in a way, and it's because there's so much political and theological weight to the story, but not to this film. It really strips everything back. It really boils everything down to two things: faith and fear, and how they manifest. Because yes, it's the trial of Joan of Arc, but it's also a story as old as time. Powerful women, strong women brought to ruin by weak and frightened men. It's a story that's played out a billion fucking times. The other thing that I love about the movie, obviously, is the acting. Like, every single person on screen is excellent. Here we go. I'm going to do some name butchering now. Antonin Artaud, Maurice Schultz, Eugene Sylvain. They all give really nuanced performances. Sylvain, in particular, is the main antagonist, I believe. I would, yeah, like Dave said, I'd call him the main protagonist. So Sylvain is like excruciatingly arrogant and pompous and cruel, but he still has like these very noticeable brief moments of doubt and regret. Like, it's impressively nuanced, especially for its time. But yeah, Maria Falconetti though, she's just is next level in that her performance feels like an evolutionary step in acting. Like, it's her performance in this is the opposable thumbs of cinematic acting. It showed the world what the screen could do, but the stage could not. It's that important, I believe. And I've seen like much more graphic movies that feature violence, degradation, torture, etc. But I've never seen anyone go through this kind of ordeal ever in my life. And Falconetti's face just communicates overtly and covertly every second of love and frustration and hope and half crazy fucking terror and horror and despair. It's all fucking up there, man. She's fucking magnificent. I swear I saw her acting with her goddamn nostrils at one point in this film. Like her nostrils. This woman's nostrils were communicating something to me almost 100 years down the line. Fucking cinema, man. It's a wonderful thing. Like, those are the points I wanted to harp on the most: the acting and the themes. But it's all good. It's all good. Like, using the real life transcript, I think, is a genius choice. Dreyer's direction is perfect, and I think his contributions to like the fledgling cinematic language might be like unassailable. Like an insane contribution. The score is wonderful. There are some passages in this that are so fucking haunting. The sets are great. They're really imposing, really suffocating. It's a masterpiece that shows us something I think so dark and corrupt about the human condition that similar scenarios still play out yearly, monthly, weekly, probably fucking daily in courtrooms around the globe, and probably always will. It's a masterpiece, but it's one that kind of makes me despair. But it deserves its position as an all-time classic, and Falconetti definitely deserves consideration for one of the greatest performances ever put on screen.
It's time to pick one. I feel like if I say a title, you guys are going to think I'm being, sarcastic or something, but it's definitely The Passion of Joan of Arc for me.
Yeah.
Yep, Joan of Arc.
Yeah. And it wasn't even remotely close.
No. Next week, we're bringing an end to the month with Kevin's stop motion special.
Craig?
No.
Craig.
Oh, Craig, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I'm in pain. I skipped my pain med so I could be coherent this evening.
Kevin's misogyny special is a few months away.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, can you guys remind us what you guys brought to the table?
Shit, I can't even remember the name of mine. I think it's called something. I think it's maybe Ziegler.
It's
Sound
DRAM.
way more German.
Maybe
Japanese movie from 1991. Japanese sci-fi horror.
Mine's is a far more accessible 2024 memoir of a snail.
All right, T, what are you bringing?
Because I'm not a big stop motion fan, and the idea of having to watch 4 stop motion movies kind of makes me nauseous, I am going to go with Dead Alive, that I guess has some stop motion in it, like a monkey or something.
It does. It does.
So
Nice.
it qualifies. Knowing Tyler was going to do something like that, I went full kitty stop motion, and I'm making us watch Paranorman.
Ooh.
Wonderful.
I knew exactly what you were going to do, and I made up my mind fairly quickly.
That's the lowest I've heard T for a while. It's wonderful.
Paranorman's so good. It's so good.
It is so good. You're going to have a great time, I promise. T, I promise. You're going to enjoy it. And
Overjoyed.
well, then use that joy to give them the business.
We're on Instagram, Raiders_of_the_podcast. We're on Facebook, where I sometimes remember to post stuff on Wednesdays. We have a YouTube channel where you can subscribe and comment and watch Kevin's awesome videos. We have a Discord, we have a Blue Sky, and you can always email us at raidersofthepodcast@gmail.com.
again, I will not be able to edit this as much as I usually do, so I'm sorry for all the clicks and cracks and stuff you heard. But please don't hold that against us. Next week we'll be back at our low average bar of technical issues. But until then, thanks for listening. Thanks for joining me, guys. I'll talk to you next week.
Yep. See you next week.
See ya.